Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Poetry Journal Podcast. And I am Alex Murder. And I want to thank all my listeners for coming through to listen to what I have to say. I appreciate your support always. So without further ado, I really want to speak about the main thing I want to speak about today is a poetry piece I wrote about. Is called Will You Remember Me? And it's actually from my first ever publishing poetry journal, Dream, Imagine, Express, which was published in, I believe, is 2019. Now, this is also one of the books you can find on Amazon, along with various others like, my stories, my short stories, Into the Abyss 1 and 2. And, of course, my most recent, and which is Poetry Journal, Growing Pains. So I would love for you listeners and everyone out there that hear me to go check that out. But without further ado, I want to explain into this why I decided this was appropriate to speak about. And I think it was more the inspiration behind it, which was, you think about what kind of like what inspired the content that I wrote. And I'm not really going to go into the content, but I just felt like the title alone, Will You Remember Me? And I just remember every time I read it, it just keeps putting me back in the space when I was just thinking about, when I think about, the person that I was thinking about, and just in a space of just like, wow, that was some special time we had. How would they think about me? How would they feel about me? And just questions like, will what we experience and how I feel about it, their perception of it, will that be like a mutual thing? Like, will it be whichever great way I feel about it, will that be reciprocated on their end, in a sense? Will it be mutual? And things of like, what was the effect? And for me, it clearly left an imprint on me, so much so that I would never forget it. The memories would never leave, and I think one of the profound way to kind of sum it up for me personally is memories, or the moments when we were all we had. Because I feel, in a sense, life is all about the moments. It's all about the moments, and that's all we have. So when it's all said and done, like, how would you look back? How would you remember me? Will you remember me? And so, that's why this piece especially has always stood out for me. And even so that the book that I mentioned before, it's the first ever piece that I put out there in the book. So yes, it definitely holds a memory for me, and it means a lot. So, but of course, when you're ready, of course, you can always find that. So the next thing I want to speak about was more recent, and that I haven't really put it out there yet. But the title is called Unforgettable. It's there's a quote in there actually that I really want to speak about, an actual quote. And as it goes, the quote goes, "A river of your unforgivable moments." Now, why is this significant? Because again, I feel like there's profound meaning behind it. And it's almost like, when you think about a situation that you've been in with somebody, now, whether, it ended amicably or in a way where like, you know what, you two went your separate ways, never to speak again. The processing that led up to that, it's going to leave a mark on you. So I'm more kind of just speaking on that processing in itself, and just in a sense of like, there's a certain trauma that's left behind when you think about things like that, and you develop triggers, and these things can be, it's almost like torture in a sense. And you never know when they might come up, especially if you have like a reflective personality like myself. I believe we all like to reflect in some more than some, and it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. But it inspires in-depth thought and profound feelings. And so, I thought it's important to speak about the emotional effect or the trauma that's caused by it over time. And, that kind of led me to kind of conclude, in a sense, it's also important to not only think about it, but also to think about the forgiveness side of it. I think a lot of us need to kind of forgive ourselves when it comes to these situations. So that's very important. So that's really the idea I really wanted to bring across when it comes to this piece. But as always, I thank everyone for showing support, and thank you for listening to what I have to say. Reach out if you have anything to speak about on my platforms. Instagram, that's at Poetry Journal, PO3 TRYJOURNAL. Of course, all my work is available on Amazon. Of course, Poetry Journal, Growing Pains, out now. And thank you for tuning in. So we'll speak again soon. Next Thursday again. Just listen out for me. Thank you everyone for listening.